In this video, I'm going to share all of the cruise tips and hacks that you need to make your cabin feel more spacious, be more organized, add more storage, and all around make it feel much more cozy for your cruise vacation. Hi there, I'm Ilana from the website lifewellcruise.com. Welcome back to my channel. Now, did you know that the average cruise ship cabin is only about 150 square feet to about 220 square feet? That is smaller than the average hotel room, and I'm not even including those very small solo cabins. So I think as cruisers, we need all the help that we can get to add storage space and to keep organized during our cruise. Now, in this video, I'm going to share some very useful tips and tricks that you can use to make the most of your cabin space, and most of them don't cost any money at all. Plus, I'll share some awesome items that might just change the way you cruise. Now, what I did for this video was that I bought a few new items, some things I haven't tried before, but that my viewers have suggested, and I'll show you them as well. Now, before I get started, I did want to mention that if you like this video, if you find it helpful, informative, or enjoyable in any way, then please give the video a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Okay, let's get started. So let's start off with embarkation day and when you first walk into your cabin. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is take a look at the bed or beds. And if you've asked for a king size or a queen size bed, just something that you should know is in most cruise cabins, it actually is two twin beds that are pushed together to make one king bed or one queen bed. Now, not to worry if they are not pressed together, you can just ask the cabin attendant and they'll be able to set that up. And likewise, if you have your beds together, they can separate them, so it's not a problem. But I do have a tip for you to know. Now, something just to mention, when they put those beds together on that very day, sometimes the cabin attendant, I've noticed, has forgotten to put on sort of like a covering between both of the beds so that you don't really feel like that crack in between the beds. And that's underneath the fitted bed sheet. So if you do notice this, ask them to put that so it'll feel more comfortable. Something else that you can do is if you find that the beds are really too firm, you can ask them to put a mattress topper on top, and they can do that as well. And if you need more pillows and blankets, you can always ask for that too. Now, I have a little tip for you if you find your cabin space is a little bit tight with furniture in particular. So this is especially true sometimes when you're in an inside cabin. There will be a coffee table, there might be an additional chair. If you don't think that you're going to use it, well, it's just going to be extra furniture, extra stuff in your cabin. You can ask your cabin attendant to remove it, and you might be surprised, but many people actually do so. Because if you have a coffee table in a very small cabin, you may find that all you do is you kind of pile stuff on it. If that's the case, ask them to remove it to give you that extra space. Now, because we want to have as much open space in our cabin as possible, what you'll want to do after you unpack is take your luggage, your suitcases, and slide them under the bed. The beds are raised up so there's room for them. Now, if it's difficult for you to place them under the bed, just ask your cabin attendant and they'll be able to do so. Now, still thinking about adding more space to your cabin, what you'll want to do is if there's a mini fridge in your cabin, and many cruise cabins do have this, is you'll want to ask the cabin attendant to remove the items from your mini fridge. So this can include water bottles, soda bottles, maybe miniature liquor bottles. If you don't think you're going to use them and drink them because really they are expensive, then ask the cabin attendant to remove them and use that space instead for later on during your cruise. Maybe you'll want to put your own water bottles in there. Maybe you'll take something back to your cabin from the buffet and you can place it into the fridge instead. Now, when it comes to putting my clothes away, personally, I like to ask for extra hangers because this way I hang as much as I can because I want to reduce the wrinkles in my clothing. Now, if you don't want to ask for extra hangers, some people do bring hangers with them. I don't personally, but there are many people who swear by it. It only costs maybe an extra $1 at the dollar store. So if you want to bring them, then feel free. Now, another little tip that you can do is to bring some Clorox wipes or some disinfectant wipes, and you can wipe down different areas of your cabin. Now, I am sure that the cabin attendants do a good job at cleaning and disinfecting, but if you want to be sure, then some areas that you might want to wipe down, like before even you fully unpack, is wipe down the telephone, because sometimes you'll use the telephone maybe to call guest services. So wipe that down with a disinfectant wipe. Wipe down some of the areas maybe in the bathroom, like the light switches, even the light switches in the main area of your cabin. You can wipe down your remote control. You can wipe down sometimes sometimes there's a little light switch on the lamp right next to the bed. I would wipe that down as well. So just kind of places like that that are not necessarily obvious, I would probably do a quick wipe once I went into the cabin. Now, something you'll notice in your cabin is it will always have an empty ice bucket. But what you can do is you can ask your cabin attendant to keep that ice bucket full every single day. Now, this is great if you maybe like to have ice in maybe some soda and you bring some soda back to your cabin, or it can be really good to even chill a bottle of wine. Of course, if you don't use it, that is another item that you can ask the cabin attendant to simply remove from your cabin so you don't have it sitting on top of your desk or vanity. Now, I like to drink wine before dinner, sometimes as I'm getting ready, or other times maybe out on the balcony for a few minutes before we head down to the main dining room. And something that you can do if you like is you can ask your cabin attendant for a couple of wine glasses. Now, I've heard that some people do that. I have to say what we usually do is we just go over to one of the bars, and every single day we just get 2 fresh wine glasses to bring back to our cabin. But other people say they do ask their cabin attendant, so you can definitely try that as well. Now, something else to do is unpack your clothing right away on that very first day, on embarkation day, ideally before dinner time. This way, all your clothes are hung up, your things are put away, and you could really feel like you could start your vacation without thinking about, oh, I still have to unpack, and perhaps a day or even 2 days or longer go by and you just don't feel very organized. Now, even though cruise cabins are small or cozy, there are a lot of little storage spaces. So you are going to have your closet. Oftentimes you're going to have a few shelves and some drawers. Definitely not as much storage space as you would have in a hotel room, but you do have some space, but you want to use that space wisely. Now, there's a lot of little nooks and crannies, almost little shelving that's behind a mirror or small shelving next to the fridge. So you kind of want to use that space wisely. And the worst thing you don't want to do is actually forget about things and leave them in the cabin. So what I like to do is at least the things that are the most important and the things that we're going to be using the most often is I like to try to hang them up rather than using up the space in the cabin by putting things maybe on the couch or on the desk or on the chairs. So what I mean is things like backpacks and baseball caps and even lanyards. So what we do is we use, I'll just show you, is we use magnets on the walls. Most of the time, the cabin walls are going to be metal. So magnet hooks, you need heavy duty ones to be able to hold, especially something like a backpack. But most of the time, magnet hooks are going to work really well. Now, I have heard recently where some people have said that they've been in cabins where magnet hooks haven't worked because some of the walls haven't been metal. Now, that's not most of the time, but some people have said that they've tried to use command hooks instead. So please let me know if you've ever used command hooks, how those have worked in a cabin. We've always used magnet hooks ourselves. Now, I have to show you this. This is genius. Do you know what this is? Maybe you recognize it and you might even have it at home. It's one of those storage shelves that go into your closet, and it's from IKEA. And so this one, I think it might be called like a shoe organizer. But what you can do is you can bring one of those, just pack it flat in your suitcase. And what you can do then is you'll have about 8 or 10 pockets. You can put t-shirts folded. You could put some shoes at the bottom, and then you could put shorts and t-shirts on some of the other shelves, but it can really give you extra vertical space in your closet. Now, another thing to do to keep your stuff really organized is to use packing cubes. Now, what we've found since we started to use packing cubes is that we're able to put items in our packing cubes, and then this way we simply like unzip them, and I can leave this straight in a drawer without really having to take all of my items out. It just has been much more practical, and you'll find because they are in different sizes that, like for instance, this I might use for bathing suits or maybe like underwear and things like that, but a larger one we could use maybe for like my husband's jeans or shorts and things like that. Now, something else that's really practical are these magnet clips, and they're available. I should mention all of the items that I'm talking about in this video are going to be linked in the description below, so you can check them out if you want. They're all from Amazon. And what I like about these magnet clips, you get like 5 in a package, and they're just super handy. They'll go on the wall the same way. But what you can do is when you have your shore excursion tickets, you can put them right on the wall. Maybe you want to put your cruise itinerary right on the wall. You want to put notes or the planner, maybe invitations to some of the events that are happening on the cruise ship. Instead of having them take up room and maybe even be forgotten on the desk, put them right on the wall, right next to the desk, and it's just a really practical place to put things. Now, what I like to do in the desk area is really make it my own like kind of workstation or even charging station. So I bring a power bar, something like this. I also have this one. It's really, really handy. It's got your USBs in front and it's got like 3 spaces for your plugs. So that's also really nice and practical and small. Either one is just fine, but basically you want to bring a non-surge protected power bar. The ones that say kind of cruise approved on Amazon are really just perfect. And the idea of this is that there usually are only 1 or 2 electric plugs in a cruise ship cabin. Some of the newer cruise ships do have USBs finally, which is something good, but you want to charge your Kindle, you want to charge your laptop, you want to charge your phone, so you need to have this. Now, something else to bring with you is a portable charger so that when you leave the cruise ship, you can have your phone charged. And I found that these portable chargers work so well that I can charge on the go, sometimes even better than I can charge in my cabin. Now, unfortunately, I can't find mine at the moment, but I am going to leave a picture right here, and I will leave the product that I recommend in the description below. Okay, so new item. Do you know what this is? This is a mesh laundry hamper. Super handy mesh, so it kind of things can breathe, let's just say. But you'll want to put your mesh laundry hamper, it folds up tiny like this. You put it in your suitcase before you go on your cruise. It's super light as well. And then you can unfold it and it becomes a really nice size hamper that you could put everything in. And I do have a little tip. If you are doing your wash right on the cruise ship, maybe you're doing a wash at one of the laundromats that are right on the cruise ship. If you do have a cruise ship that has one, some do, some don't. Or maybe you're washing certain items in the sink, then make sure that you are bringing small packets of laundry soap to do that. And if you're bringing any of your laundry home, then a good idea, a little tip or a little hack is to bring with you one of those kitchen bags that sort of smells like fresh laundry. Bring 1 or 2 of those so that you can bring home your dirty laundry in that and it won't sort of smell up the rest of the clothes in your suitcase. Now, if you do think that you're going to be washing a few items maybe in your cabin bathroom, then you might want to bring with you a portable travel clothesline. Now, these are really, really good because they have these kind of clothes pegs that are attached, so you'll never not have clothes pegs. Now, some cruise ship cabin bathrooms are going to have a line that goes across in the shower, and many of them do not. However, they won't have any clothes pegs, so it's something to bring otherwise. Now, a little tip, if you don't have any clothes pegs with you, something that can double up as clothes pegs are your towel clips. If you're bringing your towel clips anyway, which I highly recommend for a cruise, then you can also use them to hang up bathing suits and stuff on the clothesline. Now, here's a super important tip on what you'll want to put in your cruise cabin safe. Now, right away on the very first day of your cruise, like as soon as you get into your cruise cabin, what I want you to do is take your wallet with your credit cards and your cash, and I want you to put it right into that cabin safe. And as well, I want you to put your car keys or your house keys, put them right in there. This way, when you're getting ready to disembark at the very end of your cruise, well, you'll know that you put your things there. And when you get off the ship for shore excursions and you need to go get your cash or maybe your credit cards, it's always going to be in the right place. Of course, your passport should be put in there as well. Now, what I like to do is I always leave my jewelry in the cabin safe as well. But something for my everyday stuff, maybe I'm wearing my rings, but I'm going to the pool. I don't like to wear rings when I know that I'm going to be in the water, or maybe my hands might swell. So what I do is I leave them in the cabin safe, but rather than putting them away in, I'll just show you, I have like a little jewelry bag. So rather than putting them away, because they're things I use every day, is I take a glass from the bathroom and I just leave it in the cabin safe. And this way I kind of plop my rings in there when I am going to go swimming, or maybe my earrings because I don't want them to tarnish, and I put them right in that glass, and then I just close up the cabin safe. Now, here's a few must-have items that you'll probably want to bring for your cabin. Now, one of those things is a hanging toiletry bag. Now, personally, I like this one a lot. I would leave it in my bathroom. And what you can also bring is an over-the-door organizer. Obviously, everybody is different. Some people don't bring that much. Other people really find it's just helpful to organize. So that's something you can do. If you like that vertical space, you could hang it either on the bathroom door, or in some cases, when some cruise ships won't allow you to sort of hang things right over the door, is you can use those magnet hooks and you can hang the organizer on those hooks, either on the wall or you can place them on the ceiling. Now, another really handy item that a lot of people swear by is Poo Pourri. And this is a bathroom spray. Now, some people say they even use this at home. It is that effective. Now, I wanted to show you something super practical, especially if you're in an inside cabin, but even if you like sleeping in the dark, then something that you might want to bring is what's called a simple travel alarm clock. So something to realize is that cruise cabins get very, very dark at night, especially the ones without windows. So having a simple alarm clock that's digital will make sure that you can set your alarm clock, that you can wake up in the morning for any of those excursions. You never want to be late. So that's something really handy to have. Of course, you can always set the alarm on your cell phone, but many people swear by this. Now, something to note is it does require a battery, and the battery is not included, which I found out as I opened the box just now. Now, I like to bring some Downy Wrinkle Release and some Tide to Go because I just find that it saves a lot of outfits by using it. Now, these are also my Ziploc accessory bags. I really love them. They come in several different sizes, and I find these super practical and handy as well. Now, another item that a lot of people really love for their cruise cabin, especially in those dark inside cabin, is a motion sensor light. And you may also want to bring a portable fan. A lot of people find that the cabins do tend to be stuffy at night. So if you're somebody who does get a little bit warm sometimes, you may want to bring a portable fan. Again, I will link that in the description below. Now, personally, I don't bring a white noise machine, but I know some people who really like that to sleep. So you can bring a white noise machine. You could even bring one that plays like the ocean sound. So if you do have an inside cabin, well, it can mimic the feeling and sounds of that. And if you want to make your cabin feel more cozy and at home, you are able to bring essential oils as well. Now, if you're going on a Disney cruise or a Carnival cruise, you may want to decorate your cabin door. That happens quite a lot on those cruise lines, but as well on Royal Caribbean and even some other cruise lines. So if you are celebrating, perhaps consider maybe decorating your cabin door. I'm going to leave a blog post in the description below if you want to know more about what the rules are for decorating your cabin door and even get some ideas of what some people do. Now, you can also bring some Post-it notes, obviously super practical, just to leave notes for your cabin mates or the cabin attendant. And something that I think crew really do appreciate is a little thank you card with a note. And if you do want to leave them an additional tip, sometimes some people do, then you could put them in these crew thank you notes as well. So I hope I've given you some good ideas about how you can organize your cabin and just really add more space and coziness to your cruise cabin. Now, I know there's probably many more tips. So if you have some additional tips or some things that you've really liked and you recommend, please leave me a comment below. I would love to hear it. Now, I'm going to leave a video right after this one all about the things that you should not bring on a cruise. Do not pack and bring it on a cruise, but what you can or should bring instead. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. I really do appreciate it. And of course, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Bye for now, and happy cruising.